Hi, this is Attorney Pat Higgins, and today I'd like to talk to you about the 5 steps of a personal injury action in New York. So what's step one? Well, step one starts with the initial event, of course. It could be a car crash. It could be construction site injury. It could be medical malpractice. And so what we do is we gather information, um, you know, uh, and evidence. If there's a car crash, we go out and we look for surveillance video. We get the police accident reports. We get the EMT reports. We get the medical records. We talk to any witnesses we can find. We try to figure out what happened, why, and what proof do we need to move this forward. Then we start the case, and that's basically just filing a set of legal papers with the court. The defendant gets the papers and files another set back, and we're good to go. So what's step two? Step two is the litigation has started, and we're in what they call discovery. Discovery is where initially we have what's called paper discovery, and that means that the attorneys for both sides trade information of various sorts. Then we have what's called depositions. That's when the parties and any, let's say, interested witnesses or people that may know something about the case may be called in and to testify about what happened. And the attorneys for each side will question the witnesses under oath, and that'll with the stenographer present. So that's stage two. Now, stage three starts when the judge in the case sets a trial date. In other words, discovery's over, we want a trial, usually sets one, let's say, several months or more in advance or down the road. And during this, what I call the pretrial stage, or step three, the parties will exchange summaries of what they expect their witnesses, their expert witnesses, to say. That's called expert disclosure. And then usually the defendant or the allegedly negligent party will file a bunch of papers with the court. Basically said, I don't think there's a case, throw the whole case out. Of course, as the attorney for the injured party, will file an equally large group of papers saying, oh, I'm sorry, but there is a really good case here, and don't throw the case out. In fact, send the case to trial where we expect to win. Okay, so that's step three. Okay? Step four is trial. Okay, now, obviously, we've all seen trial on TV, but basically, 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks in trial, very intense process. A lot of intensive preparation goes into that, particularly with our clients, because it's a stressful and unnatural thing to be in front of somebody who's judging you for 8 to 10 hours a day, and it's difficult, but certainly doable and a worthwhile process. So at the end of that process, hopefully the injured party gets what's called a verdict and then recovers on that verdict, and that's the end of the process. However, there is, of course, another stage, which is called stage or step 5. Step 5 is the appeal process, because obviously either side can go to the next higher court and say, hey, something happened in that verdict which is not right. There was a mistake made, and we want you to throw the whole thing out and either start over or kind of tinker with the verdict or do something else. So most cases either resolve or end with the verdict before the appeal stage or step 5, but it does exist. So that's just a very, very rough overview of the 5 steps to a personal injury action in New York. If you have other questions, check out my website, www.phigginslaw.com, or my YouTube channel, where I discuss some of these other interesting issues with New York personal injury law and cases. So I hope you have a great day, and we'll be in touch.